are a slave, so you should be a free man for you to be able to pay zakat. Then one must be of sound mind, that is said. So if that person is insane, cannot pay zakat, because we're saying that zakat is a pillar of Islam. And now, if that person doesn't even know what he's doing, so there's no need for him to pay zakat. So one must be of sound mind. Then the giver of zakat must have attained maturity. So underage, a person who is underage, then cannot or not a baligh, so it's not a must for that person to pay zakat. Then the wealth to be paid should have reached nisab. We say that nisab, this is the minimum amount for zakat payment that zakat must reach for someone to be able to pay zakat. So the wealth must have reached the nisab. So if you have a saving, then you must the wealth must reach that amount, the minimum amount that one is supposed to pay nisab. Then he or she will be able to pay that. Assume an example, a minimum amount, let's say it's 500. Assume that's an example. The nisab is 500. And you have a wealth in your possession of around 1,000. So that's past the nisab that's there. Then it's a must for you to pay zakat. Why? Because your wealth has reached nisab. Then another condition is that the wealth or property must have been in one's possession for a full lunar year. So this is mostly in zakat al-mal. So we say that for one to be able to pay zakat, that is, it's supposed to be the savings that are in one's possession for the whole lunar year. So when it reaches a year and you have the savings, you have the money or the wealth with you, you have been saving and it's still there, then now it becomes a must for you to pay zakat. Then one must make a niyyat, that is the intention that he or she is paying that zakat for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you want to pay zakat, make sure that you make a niyyat. Your intention is because you are fulfilling the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we know that it's among the pillars and we are following the commandments that's there, or the command, because it is obliged for us to pay zakat if you are able. Then you're paying that not for any other reason but for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have another condition that zakat al-fitr should be paid before one goes for Eid prayer. We had discussed about the differences between zakat al-fitr and zakat al-mal. And we say one of the difference that for zakat al-fitr is the lowest, or for the zakat al-mal, it should be in one's possession for a whole year. But for zakat al-fitr, that is the due time is before the Eid prayer. So when one pays the zakat al-fitr, but their prayer has finished, has ended, then that's not zakat al-fitr anymore. That becomes sadaqah. So it's a must for you to pay zakat al-fitr on time. That month, if it has reached a lunar year, the possession of the wealth has been with you for the whole lunar year, then if that's a year reached and you must, the debt you must give zakat, then you must do it immediately. Then we have zakat of one place should not be transferred to another place. So assume now people here are giving out zakat. They are paying zakat. And we have the eight recipients of zakat in our place. They are up there. And now you want to take that particular zakat to another place, which is wrong because we also have the eight zakat, the people who are supposed to give them zakat. So you should not take or transfer that particular zakat for one place to another because of your own reasons. Yet, in that particular place, there are people who are lawfully supposed to get that zakat. So, that's why we are saying zakat of one place should not be transferred to another place. Then, lastly, the item payable for zakat should not be exchanged for another item. That is an example. If it is permissible to use the nisab for animals when you are supposed to pay zakat for minerals, but one can convert the cows into currency and then a rate of the currency is given out for zakat. So assume now, because we are saying an item payable for zakat should not be exchanged for another item. Assume you have jewelers or you have the minerals like gold. But you think like, no, if I want to give zakat for gold, then it's more than what I want to give because I don't want to give my gold. And you take an animal like a cow, then you give a zakat. Just like that. Then that's wrong. Because if you want to give zakat for your as an animal, then you must know the currency of that gold and the nisab that you're supposed to give. Then using the nisab now, because it has reached the nisab, then the same amount that you're supposed to give as gold, then you can buy animals and give as zakat. But just to estimate, that's not allowed. So if you want to give, you can give it cash, but if it has reached nisab, then you can convert. If it's gold, assume it's 500. You're supposed to give 500 grams of gold or 85 grams of gold because that's the nisab. But you don't want to give gold. So you'll go and check what's the currency of that gold that you have, the 85 grams. Assume it's 10,000. So because you want to give animals, you can buy animals with that 10,000. Then that's okay. But you just assume because if I give gold, that will be a lot. I'll just give one cow. You just assume. Then that is wrong. So inshallah, we'll continue from there in our next class.